So here is my loaner electric mirror switch or joystick, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, it's pretty disgusting. I want to give this a clean before I fit it to my red project. It is only a loan. I have to return it when I'm done with it, but in good faith, I will clean it out and make it look like new before doing so. If you want to remove this hat from the switch, it's actually incredibly easy. I will show you how to do that now, without breaking it, of course. So all you need to do is grab 2 flat blade screwdrivers, get them underneath the hat, and evenly at the same time, rock them upwards. And that's how you get it off without breaking it. And now we have full access to clean all of this disgusting filth out of there. I believe that's even remnants of a cockroach. So yeah, you do not want to put that rubbish in your refurbished 124. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this out, and I'll treat it with 303 protectant when I'm done, and we'll see how that looks, and then I'll go and fit it, of course, and test it out. That's the part number if you're interested. I believe this is used on several models, 201, even 126, whatever has the single electric mirror. The double electric mirror version is different. So I'm just going to go ahead and use isopropyl to free up that filth, and of course my old pink toothbrush. And yeah, that muck is stuck in there good and proper. So it's going to take some serious effort to get that disgusting filth out of there. So I'll carry on with that off camera. And the reason why that's clear is because that's LED illumination. That lights up the dot in the middle of the hat, so you can see that at night time. I'll continue cleaning this and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So whatever that disgusting substance was, I could not get it out with isopropyl. I had to end up using spray and wipe, and the toothbrush wasn't moving it either, so I had to use a wooden Q-tip, and then it snapped, and then yeah, the piece of wood. I'm now going to use the 303 protectant on it, and then I'll show you it going back together. The trick with this stuff, despite the instructions, as Kent Bergsma also says, is to make sure you leave it wet. Let it soak into the plastic for some time to provide the extra nice finish. Otherwise, if you wipe it off too quickly, the coating is too thin. So I'll go ahead and apply a bit more. Of course, the hat only goes on one way, and you just push that on. I'll give this a good going over off camera because this is too hard to do. Now I can see this disgusting substance is also on the other side. What I suspect has happened is someone has spilled Coca-Cola in the center console and not cleaned it up in a timely fashion and just allowed it to soak through the switch. Hopefully it still works because I don't fancy actually pulling it apart. I just will test it and make sure it's okay for the purposes of getting the car inspected. If ever you needed evidence that yes, I make mistakes like everybody else, well, here it is. I got a little bit too enthusiastic exercising my mirror joystick in preparation for the inspection this week, and I snapped it off. It's just the acrylic stalk that runs through to the hat that just clean snapped off. no doubt it's repairable, but I've already ordered a brand new one, and, well, it's going to take a month to get here, so we're going to go ahead and fit this borrowed one. I will return it once I get my new one. Hopefully it works, because it has had coke go through it. That's why it was so disgusting. I really don't feel like opening it up and servicing it. Let's just see if it works. Coincidentally, if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to take the one from Blue Black, because not being able to move the mirror as intended will be an instant fail on my inspection, and we can't have that. I'm sure it'll fail for something else, but we'll discuss that on the day and hopefully work through what we need to. So to remove this late version wood, yes, it has been retrofitted to this middle version car. Firstly, we need to remove this plastic bezel, and that simply pulls out. It's got tangs that slot into the shifter box there. And then there's one screw under the carpet here, and then we just lift this thing up. That's the Phillips head screw there, and you want to be careful not to scratch your wood when you're taking that out. So I will do that off camera. With that screw undone, it's simply a case of lifting this up, and because this is a refurbished piece of wood with a good plastic backing on it, these switches have stayed in situ. So I'm going to have to maneuver this out off camera. I can't do it while holding it. So yeah, so it's really not hard. That's the frame that clips into the plastic clippy section on the bottom of the wood. Just remember, there are two different versions, maybe even more, of this bottom piece that has to match the version of wood you're using. I had that issue when I was fitting my late version wood to my middle version car. I had to swap this frame over. So yeah, it's just the mirror switch has stayed in there because it's kind of a tight fit. So I'll go ahead and swap that over now and start the reassembly process. One thing of interest, I've never actually experienced this before. This piece of wood that has been refurbished for me is so good it still has the clips on here that hold these two switches. My other car does not have that. They're all broken off, so they are quite easy to lift out. I'm actually going to have to gently fold those hooks out enough to pop that mirror switch out. So I've gone ahead and clipped that in, and thankfully I did not snap off either of those clips. So installation is reversal of disassembly. So I'll go ahead and put this back in. So that's all back together now. It's simply a case of hooking this side in first over the knob there, bringing it back down, clipping the switch frame underneath into the piece of wood, and then the piece of wood comes back a little bit and then goes forward and locks in, and you can screw it in, and then you just reinstall this bezel. Now the moment of truth, does this switch, this coke-soaked switch, actually work? Well, let's find out. Key position 2 is required for the mirror. Moment of truth, does it work? Thank God, all directions work. Phew. Well, that was a good save. Now, we'll see how the inspection goes.